Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and today I'm doing a versus video between the Nike Kyrie 8 and the Under Armour or Curry brand Curry 9. So the Curry 9 you can't really get, and also the Kyrie 8 you can't really get. The Kyrie 8 is actually pretty damn cheap on StockX. It's like, I've seen some sizes go for like 80 to 100 bucks and high prices are like $120, which is probably below retail, which is kind of crazy, right? But with everything that's going on with Corona and stuff, it's just like, I feel like the inventory is getting messed up in China and they're having trouble delivering it here. So it's a mess here over in the US. And same thing with the Curry 9, we need some more colorways. They only released like this one and then the bird one. And it was very limited quantities as well. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave a link in the description box, but let's get it started off with the Tracciones. And of course, you're not really going to beat the Curry 9. The Curry 9 is just god tier traction. When you're stopping on a clean court, it stops almost too hard. You know what I mean? It's using the flow outsole. And yeah, I mean, you're gonna be stopping literally instantaneously, and if you stop too hard, it kind of hurts your feet, or at least it does to me. If you're playing on a dusty court, you should be fine. It picks up very little dust, but if it does pick up dust, it doesn't pick it up that quickly, and also it's a very easy slight wipe, which is very nice, right? Here in the Kyrie 8, it's not very nice at first. You definitely need to break it in, which definitely does suck, but once you keep breaking it in and playing in it, it gets better and better. I wouldn't say it's top tier traction, but it's very good. And so if you're playing on a clean court, you should be fine. Also, dust pickup is pretty minimal as well. Not as minimal as the Curry 9, but it still doesn't pick it up that much. And also it's a pretty easy wipe for the Kyrie 8 as well. So the Curry 9 is going to be better. It's also for durability. I feel like the Curry 9 is going to be a little bit better as well. You know, I actually played with the Curry 8 on an outdoor court and it's held up pretty nicely, you know. And the Kyrie 7 did not hold up nicely at all. And I'm guessing the Kyrie 8 isn't going to be very nice for outdoor use just because the rubber is super soft and very thin. So pretty much in every category for traction, the Curry 9 is better. But a little bonus, I guess, for the Kyrie is that you have the outsole curvature. So that is a little bonus there. But overall, for traction, the Curry 9 is better. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, so they're both super smooth, right? So here in the Kyries, we have a nice curve shape here in the heel, fully exposed midsole. Same thing here in the forefoot, and we have a lot of forefoot flex, right? So it's super smooth here in the Kyries, and then same thing with the Curries. We have a nice curve shape, fully exposed midsole. But one thing about the Curries that I like a little bit more is that it's super curved here in the forefoot, right? And I don't know what it is. It feels a little bit different than the Kyries. I don't know why. It looks a little bit same as far as the shape goes. I don't know what it is. But when I play in the Curries, like when I lean forward a little bit and put some weight here in my toes, it just really wants to rock me forward, which I really like. And also there is a good amount of forefoot flex too. So I would say I like the Curry 9 a little bit more just because of that. But the Kyrie 8 is still super smooth for heel to toe transition. Alright, moving on to the cushioning setup. So it's pretty different, you know. The Kyries are very bouncy and very crazy, especially in the forefoot. So we have a forefoot zoom strobo unit, and you definitely feel it. You know, it's right underneath your foot. There's a crazy amount of compression, crazy amount of bounce, and I like it. You know, some people might not like it. If you don't like zoom strobo and you think it's a little too much, or at least like full length zoom strobo, like the ones found in like the KD14, KD13, then you're definitely not gonna like the Kyrie 8 just because it's not as articulated. So there is a little bit more compression throughout the entire forefoot. And here in the heel, there is a heel zoom unit, but you can't really feel it all too much. And the foam isn't too soft. I would say the Curry 9 maybe is a little bit softer, but still not great. And I would say the Curry 9 is just more of a responsive type of cushioning setup. As far as impact protection goes, I would say they're both pretty good. But of course, if you're landing on your forefoot, the Kyrie is going to be better. Court feel, they're both very nice, super low to the ground. So I guess the only differentiating factor is just the zoom unit, right? So if you want that crazy zoom unit, go with the Kyrie 8. If you want something a little bit more like mellow, more responsive, with pretty good impact protection, then go with the Curry Flow 9. Alright, moving on to the materials. So as far as thickness goes, I wonder, they're both super thin. I would say if I'm nitpicking, the Kyrie 8 maybe feels just a tiny bit thinner and maybe a little bit softer. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's like the Kyrie material feels, or it just moves a little bit easier when I press it down with my thumb as opposed to the Curry 9. But they're both like, that's just nitpicking. You know, when you have it on foot, they both feel extremely minimal. It conforms to your foot extremely well here in the forefoot for both of the shoes. So I'll tie it up, but I guess if you want the overall like softer or like thinner material, then go with the Kyrie 8, right? But for the overall support though, the Curry 9 feels a lot more supportive, right? You can see all the stitching going throughout this entire upper, which gives it a lot of support. The Kyrie 8 it doesn't have as much support here in the forefoot, and also it stretches out over time, which we'll get into in fit. As far as the tongue goes, the Curry 9 actually has a little bit of padding, but the Kyrie 8 has so much freaking padding that it feels awesome. I love the way it feels. And coming here into the ankle area, of course, the Kyrie 8 also has way more padding. The Curry 9, there's a tiny bit of padding, just a tiny bit on top of like the ankle, which feels nice and more minimal, but the Kyrie 8 feels very comfortable and cozy. So it all depends on what you like, right? So here in the toe box, pretty much the same type of feel, super minimal, very thin, conforms to your foot. But here in the back of the heel and also for the tongue, if you want something more comfortable and more cozy, go with the Kyrie 8. Also, in my opinion, it's not too much. It doesn't feel crazy bulky or anything, which is nice. And obviously, if you want something more minimal, go with the Curry 9. In my opinion, they're both nice. I have my days on what I like. You know, I really like the cozy feeling sometimes, and I also really like the minimal feeling sometimes. So there's nothing that's like better or worse. It's just like more subjective, I would say. So of course, pick according to what you guys would like. Moving on to the fit. So as far as the fit for the Curry 9 goes, I went true to size and it fits me extremely well. And like, here the toe box is super tight, lengthwise it's good, widthwise it's slightly narrow, and same thing with the Kyrie 8. If you've tried on the Kyrie, it's a very snug fit, so if you don't like that, I would suggest going up half a size, and same thing with the Curry 9. But one thing though is the Kyrie 8 is a little bit roomier here in the toe box, just a tiny bit, and also like I said, the material stretches out a little bit over time, so it gets even roomier, which I'm not a huge fan of. So overall, I would say I like the Curry 9 fit better, although the Kyrie 8, it didn't stretch out like crazy. It's just a little bit roomier, so I don't mind it as much. But you know, if I'm nitpicking at this point, the fit for me in the Curry 9 is a little bit better. Alright, moving on to the support in lockdown, I had no issues with lateral containment in either of the shoes. So here in the Curry 9, I don't know how, maybe it's just the material is super supportive just because of all the stitching. I don't know what it is, but here in the forefoot, I felt locked in, and same thing here in the heel. And for the Kyrie 8, same thing. We have a little bit of a lateral counter for like this material and also the foam. And also here in the heel, we have an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment, I was good to go. And let's see the width. Let's see which shoe is wider. They're both around the same width. So lateral stability was very good for me as well. And you're low to the ground. For the Kyrie 8, of course, it is a mid-top, but didn't really offer that much ankle support. You know, I still had pretty good ankle mobility in the Kyrie 8. So if you're looking for ankle support, both of these shoes are not the best option. Alright, as far as the weight of the shoe goes, the Curry 9 is super light, like 10.41 ounces. Kyrie 8 is pretty damn light too, 12.24. That's a little bit lighter than average. That's a super light Kyrie actually. But of course, if you're looking for a super lightweight shoe that it just kind of like feels like a runner and you feel like a ninja, go with the Curry 9. I just love how the Curry 9 feels on foot. The Kyrie 8 is still super minimal, you know, like the material is minimal. It feels cozy here in the back of the shoe, and also the cushion is responsive and the traction is good. So you still feel responsive and quick when you're playing in the Kyries. But if you want just the most minimal, like responsive feel ever, then just go with the Curries. Alright, moving on to the ventilation. Ventilation in both of the shoes is very good as far as the overall material goes because it's super thin. It doesn't really keep in heat that well. But of course, here in the ankle area, the Kyries are a little bit thicker, so it'll be a little bit warmer here in the ankle area, and also it is a mid-top. So overall, I would say the Curry 9 is a little bit better for ventilation. But the airflow throughout this entire upper, like here in the forefoot and here in the midfoot, is around the same. Alright, moving on to the aesthetics. Oof, I don't know. There's been some really dope Curry 9 colorways. And some of the PEs that Curry's been rocking looks great. Like that black, gold, and white one looks awesome. And also there was a Dub Nation colorway that he was wearing, which I thought looked great. Kyrie actually hasn't been playing in the Kyrie 8s. He's been playing in the Kyrie 7 actually. recently, which is kind of weird. I don't know what it is. Maybe he doesn't like the zoom. I don't know, but I haven't really seen any like really cool colorways of the Kyrie 8. So just because of the colorways that have come out, I like the Curry 9 a little bit more. But as far as the overall aesthetic goes, I tie it up. I like both of them. So tell us what you guys think looks better down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, I mean, this versus video was pretty hard just because both of these shoes I love playing in. They're my go-tos, and they're, in my opinion, the top performing shoes that you can get, right? But overall, what I find myself reaching for more, surprisingly, is the Curry 9. You know, just because I don't know what it is. Recently I just like that responsive, low to the ground feel. I don't need something like too crazy for the cushioning right now. And it's just like, I just feel like a ninja when I'm playing it. You know, there's silent traction, although it's really, really good traction. Responsive cushion, really minimal upper. Support's still good and fits me like a glove. So I'm gonna have to say the Curry 9 overall is the better option for me. Like I said, I mean, it is pretty much a toss-up. You really can't go wrong with either of these shoes. And there are like two differentiating factors. You know, of course, the zoom unit. If you want that crazy zoom unit, go with the Kyries. And also, if you want overall a little bit more cozier upper, especially here in the ankle area, then go with the Kyrie 8. But anyways, that about wraps up this versus video. Again, if you guys do want to cop either of these shoes, I'll try to leave a link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.